oh my gosh, I just had an epiphany, and I want to talk about storytelling and the type of stories that you tell, how that is going to attract a certain segment of a certain segment of audience, right? And it's funny as I say that, it's like, duh, even hearing myself say it, it's like, duh, but you can only hear what you can hear when you're ready to hear it. Imagine a conscious contact with God so strong that no matter what you are doing or not doing, that no matter what your kids are up to or not up to, and that whether you've got the person of your dreams or they're just not cooperating, that you are happy, content, and at peace. A space where everyone else's thoughts, attitudes, and actions are beautiful and exactly as they are supposed to be. Well, this is the space where I like to play. My name is Misha Z, and this is today's Bitch Slap. Join me as I shed light on the thoughts, actions, and attitudes that are causing you pain, and we train our minds to go to the capital S inner self, the joy that is waiting for us, the God within. So, here we go. Let's talk about the epiphany that I had, the idea that you can attract different markets by the stories that you tell. And we all know that in sales and marketing that telling stories is a very powerful tool, especially if they're related to yourself and you're the attractive character, shall we say. I think Russell Brunson is a master storyteller, clearly master storyteller, and he talks about how inventorying your stories and being good at talking in parables, aka a story. And in .com Secrets, I was listening to the audio version the other day. He was talking about how, maybe it wasn't on .com Secrets, maybe it is, I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but it's definitely I was watching a video of his, excuse me, and effectively he was saying, I've heard him tell the story in different places, but the story goes, he, is very good at selling men, like bringing in men into his realm, into his service realm, right? He's very good at bringing men in and then helping them and, building his business with manly customers. But that his stories that he was always telling typically were around wrestling and such, and more of manly style things. And for anybody who was unfamiliar with Russell Brunson, he speaks from stage a lot, and then he sells, and he hopes for what's called the table rush, hence the name of this podcast. So, new name of this podcast. So people are excited to buy. They rush to the table at the back of the presentation room to sign on the line that is dotted, hand over their credit cards, what have you. He's the master at finding out what the customer needs and wants. So, and he fills that need and tells stories to help do it. And so he said, one time he was selling from stage, and consistently men would show up or men would buy, right? He would have a table rush of men. And then this one time he was having a moment and he got extra vulnerable, and he told the story about how him and his wife were having troubles getting pregnant, and so they had to go through the fertility treatments and stuff like that, and he was crying, and and then he looked up at the table rush when it was, time to sell and everyone was buying, and there was 50% women when there was never usually any women. And so you had the aha moment of, oh, wait a minute, like the tale I tell is very important, but so is tailoring it to perhaps tell an additional story to get the other part of the audience, I guess is the way to say that. And I've been thinking as, it just hit me, and I was on a walk and had my microphone with me, thank goodness, because I was like, all my audience, I've been trying to talk to men, to men, and but I have this large female audience, and it hit me because I tell these very emotional stories about the moments of realizing my kids and time with kids are so important, and these more I don't know, feminine stories, I don't know, call it what you will. I'm trying to not to stereotype or generalize or pass judgment or whatever. This is, strip all that out if you can. But as I talk about, redemption with Dawn, the boy's mom, I talk about healing the heart. I talk about lots of these, what seem to be typically female-based themes. I'm getting a lot of that audience, which is awesome, because currently I am absolutely down to provide, entrepreneurial lead gen and conversion services to both men and women as I shift from sort of a healing modality to a business modality, and backdooring the spiritual healing side of things. And surprise, surprise, as I talk more business strategy, more men are popping into my radar who groove on that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many amazing stories to tell. And not only actually business, but it's even more specific. I'm sorry, because, women love business, women love adventure too. When I talk about my gambling escapades, and I was a professional gambler, and played in the World Series of Poker, in the early 2000s, being on the front end of the big wave of that, or if I talk about my snowboarding or more adrenaline-fueled stories, or stitches, or big wave surfing, not big wave surfing, but big wave surfing for me, where I ended up getting stitches. But as I talk more of these adrenaline stories, they resonate with a more male audience. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been such in this coming out of, divorce, broken heart, sadness, finding new purpose, heart-centered language, for the past 6 or 7 years. Of course, that language tends to attract a more female-based audience, but I don't know. I feel super vulnerable saying all this, but I'm saying it anyway. I just see it. It's true. Let's generalize. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to tell some more stories based from the adrenaline side of things. I don't know if adrenaline side of things is it, but yes, actually, it is. Because I had another major epiphany, which I have my first story teed up and ready to go. And it also has to do with a little bit of a function of maturity as a male and reignited business. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of my aha moment of telling different stories to pull in different segments of your audience. And that's it. Let's grow our businesses. Let's take risks. Let's live a life of adventure. Thank you for spending time with me today. As someone who is committed to growth and service to this world, I so appreciate your willingness to come with me, go within, and serve our world through change. If you found value in this podcast and you know someone who can use this message, share this episode with them. Share it so our mission can be achieved one episode at a time. And of course, subscribe so you can hear more. And lastly, for more resources on what has helped me on my journey and can help you on yours, go to belove.media/resources. That's BELOVE.media/resources. Thank you again for listening.